I don't think you can even see them all. Hey folks, it's Abby, and I got a stupid number of books in December. Oh god. Oh, I don't think you even saw that. I got like 25, 26 books in December, and I cannot carry them all. So, hi! I got a lot of books and I thought I would go through them all with you. I am going to go through these kind of chronologically because I got some outside of Christmas, and then the Christmas ones I'm going to bracket together with family and with bookish friends. So, the very first book that I got in December, if you want to check out the unboxing video of it here, it is my Illumicrate book, which is A Marvellous Light by Freya Marske, and this is a hidden world, a magical conspiracy, a thrilling romance. So a baronet discovers the world of magic and he's like thrust into a position of power there, and he doesn't want it, and this other boy does not want him in this position of power. But there's romance. This, I know, is not the usual sort of book that I would pick up, but one, I'm not mad because it's gorgeous, and two, I really want to give it a shot. So I'm really excited to read this one, hopefully in January. And then we're into the Christmas gifts. So I'm going to start off with family first, and then I'll get into my bookish friends. My mum, who usually refuses to purchase me any books because she says I have enough, got me this bind-up of 4 novels from Charles Dickens. It includes The Adventures of Oliver Twist, A Christmas Carol, Great Expectations, and A Tale of Two Cities, and these are the Canterbury Classics bind-up. She saw this in Costco's and took a picture and was like, haha, look at these, and I was like, buy me them, and so she got me this one. Literally, that's how it happened. She sent the picture, she was like, oh, these are pretty. I'm like, did you grab any? Are you gonna go back? Can I give you the money to get them? And she was like, no, and then she got me this one. So this is probably the first book that she's gifted me for Christmas in about 5 years, so I love it very much. I have only read A Christmas Carol out of these. I've read part of Great Expectations and part of A Tale of Two Cities when I was at school, so I'd love to actually be able to read these all. And also look at the gilded edges. And it has a bookmark. It's just pretty. It's just pretty. Not the most important quality in a book, but still. Then, staying in that side of the family, we have my mum's sister, my aunt, and she got me 3 books. She got me The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, which most of you already know what this one is about, but it is essentially a man who is sent to inspect orphanages and homes for children, goes to a magical one, and has to balance if they're a danger to society versus the fact that they're just lovely children. That's what I know about this one. She also got me The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I know nothing about this other than it's a high fantasy with dragons. I'm very excited. And then last but not least, she got me The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bouley. This is a Native American, native to the North Americas book. I think the tribe is the Ojibwe, and it is about a young woman who is conscripted, requested by the FBI to help them in something, but they start to obviously fuck shit up in the native community because America? No. Not that Britain's any better, but still. And then we go on to my partner's side of the family. So my boyfriend got me some books, and I call her my mother-in-law because I adore her and I've been with my partner for 5 years, but my partner's mum also got me some books. So I'll go with the ones from her first. The one that you guys will know is Exit Strategy by Martha Wells. This is the 4th book in the Murderbot series. It is a sci-fi series of mostly novellas, which follows a sentient AI which has got control over its governor module and calls itself Murderbot, but all it actually wants to do is to sit and watch soap operas. I love this series so much. And then she also got me Super Volcanoes by Robin George Andrews. This is a brand new release right at the end of 2021, and it is a non-fiction all about volcanoes. As some of you may know, I have a Master's and MSc in Geological and Environmental Hazards, and I focused on volcanology for my thesis, so I'm so excited to read this. And then we have the books from my boyfriend. 4 of them have a theme, so I will do those together. The first one, which is separate, is Tea with Jane Austen, recipes inspired by her novels and letters by Pen Vogler. It's exactly what it says on the tin, and it's a mixture of like stuff to read and also actual recipes. This one is for lemon cheesecakes. So I'm really excited to read through this one. It is such a cute edition. It's so cute. And then the 4 books of a theme. The first one is I Am a Cat by Soseki Natsume, and this is the very first Japanese novel written about a daily life of a cat. and of course this is translated, and the reason that he got me this is because it is the first of its kind and it inspired The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa, which of course he also got me. And then this one inspired The Guest Cat by Takashi Hiraide? Sorry. And then these all inspired the latest release, The Cat Who Saved Books by Soseki Natsukawa. So basically I have a lot of Japanese cat fiction. I absolutely love cats so much, and so I'd already known about the Travelling Cat Chronicles and The Cat Who Saved Books, and I already had them on my wish list and on my TBRs. I wanted to read them at some point. And then The Guest Cat and I Am a Cat are new to me, but I'm so excited to read these. I don't want to read these three until I've read this one, and this one's a chunker, so that kind of intimidates me a little bit, but hopefully it will be nice and surprisingly easy to get through. This is actually 3 volumes in one. These were published, I think, like serially, kind of the same way that Sherlock was originally published, like in magazines, and then this has been bound up, so hopefully it should be a faster read than it looks. But I'm really excited for all of these. The only Japanese translated fiction that I've read before is the Before the Coffee Gets Cold, the 2 books that have been translated in that by Tashigawa Kawaguchi, translated by George Trusselou. I loved those, so I'm hoping these have a similar vibe. And then to stay bookish but to delve away from books, so my partner actually got me these earrings, which are stacks of books in rainbow colours, which are just, they're so cute, I love them so much. They're from an independent store which is called Choreographies, like the name Choreographies, and I'm just obsessed with them. They're so cute. I'm looking at them. I love them. I love them so much. And then he also got me 2 bookish candles. So he got me, they're by Literati and Light, and one is Jane Eyre, which is my favourite classic from my childhood, and then the other one is Sherlock's Bohemian Scandal. So this one he is super excited to burn because you can smell the tobacco. So the scents in this are leather, opium, tobacco leaf, books and burnt woods. And then the scents for the Jane Eyre candle are ivy, moss, tobacco leaf, jasmine and rosemary. This one smells a lot more musky, a lot more like someone's aftershave, whereas that one smells literally how you would expect Sherlock's study to smell. Literally. So I'm really excited for those. And then his wonderful mum got me some socks with Sherlock profile on them from Out of Print, which are adorable. And then we get on to books from my wonderful, amazing bookish friends. So I'm actually going to start with something that isn't a book, just because it links in with those, and that is a little bookmark. This is just a slip to kind of show you how it's used, but it's a little owl curled up around your page. This was gifted to me by Carrie from Caring for Books. Carrie, I love you so much. And I'm just so grateful for this. It's so adorable and I cannot wait to add it to my collection. It's been separate for now so I can film this video. To stick with Carrie, she gifted me 2 books for Christmas. One of them is The Art of War by Sun Tzu. This is a book that my partner loves and it is nice and short and sweet, but this edition has some gorgeous illustrations throughout, and it is what it says on the tin, how Sun Tzu believes war should be fought and the art of war itself, but it's used a lot nowadays in the world of business to see how business negotiations should be dealt with. I just thought it would be a very interesting little classic to read through and to add to my repertoire, and also just because my partner really likes it. He doesn't read all that much. He reads the same amount as normal human beings. Compared to us on the booktonet, he reads nothing. But yeah, so I like to try and read the books of his that he loves that also align with my interests. So I'm really excited for this one, and it should be a nice short read. And then the other book that Carrie got me, she knows me so well, and that is Timefulness by Marcia Bjornerud, and this is how thinking like a geologist can help save the world. So as I mentioned before, this is my education area, this is my area of study, and I just think that this sounds super interesting. I'd love to learn some more about this. I'm living for the cross sections on the cover. And again, this is a really short one. If I remove kind of the appendices and the notes, it's 180 pages, so I'm really looking forward to this. It has some illustrations inside. Ooh, sorry, zircon crystals. So yes, I'm really okay. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It is right up my street, and I've been wanting some more books that are non-fiction set in my field for so long, so thank you, Carrie. Then the wonderful Veronica from Veronica's Shelf ended up getting me some books. I'm so grateful, Veronica, you didn't have to, but I'm really excited to read them. So one is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mota and Max Gladstone. This, as far as I know, I don't know all that much about it, but it is from two points of view. It's a little sci-fi novella, two people who are falling in love through the communications, but they are from opposite sides of the war, and they're supposed to be fighting against each other. That's all I know about this one. A little bit more romancy than I usually go for, but something that I'm really interested in reading, and Veronica loves romance, so I'm not surprised that she went with something that is sci-fi and lovey-dovey at the same time. Mwah. And then she also got me a book that she actually caused me to put on my wish list. Which I'm pretty sure I did the same for her, so and that is Failure to Communicate by Kai Sunderby? Kai Sunderby? I'm saying that wrong. And this is put onto my list because it has, according to Veronica, who is autistic, great autistic representation. It's another sci-fi. We follow an autistic head of the Carpathia's Xenoliaison department, Xandri, who has become an expert in peaceful first contacts. However, they're trying to make contact with a species and they are as xenophobic as they come, and they're developing a powerful weapon that's caught both the attention of the Alliance and their bitter enemies. So all about kind of communicating with a species that doesn't want to play ball and communicating whilst autistic. Like I said, Veronica says that this has really good representation in it. Autistic people are not a monolith, so I'm sure that some people would disagree, but I'm really excited to read this. Then Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe gave me 3 books. Woman. So, the top 2 are classics. She got me The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde and Dracula by Bram Stoker. So you guys probably know enough about these by now. I don't actually know next to anything about this other than lots of people say that they enjoy it, and I thought it would be an interesting one to read for myself. And Dracula is the vampire one. So these are ones that I've been wanting to read for ages. As you guys probably know, I've been reading a lot more classics in 2021. I want to carry this through into 2022, and I hopefully will really enjoy these. And then she also got me Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. She loves adding well-known, well-loved fantasy books that are usually considered chunky. This one obviously isn't that big, but it is small writing for its 400 pages, and Robin Hobb is known for her bigger books later on in the series. Olivia loves adding these chunky books onto my TBR when I've got them on my wish lists. She added The Poppy War, for example, so I'm really excited to get to this one. I've heard so many amazing things. Obviously there's been the Farseers read-along, is that what it's called? That's been happening lately all across British booktube, so I've been wanting to read these for a while and I'm super excited to delve in. And last but never ever least is Hannah from letter M. So she is the creator and the host of the Dead Famous read-along, which I co-host along with Ali and Becca, and we also have Lizzie joining in as well now, and that is us reading the Skullduggery Pleasant books. None of these are Skullduggery, mainly because I own them already. So one of the books that she got me is Blackwater Sister by Zen Cho. She knew that I was so excited to read this, so Olivia actually had told me that she read this and she thought I would really like it. Olivia's very good at determining my reading taste, and we'd ended up having a discussion on this when it was one of the books that you could win in Gothtober. I was one of the people kind of taking part in the live shows and stuff, so I couldn't win the book, but she made a note of that in her head and got me this for Christmas, and I'm so grateful. I have 2 sets of promotion to do for Hannah, so I'm going to do one of them now, and that is that she has an independent bookshop called Waypoint Books. Please do go and check it out if you're wanting to get any books and you don't want to get them from Amazon, which I understand why. Please do check that out down below. If you want a book and it doesn't happen to be there, you can always message her and ask if she is able to get it as well. Absolutely fantastic, and I'm looking forward to, with like the changes in my lifestyle in 2022, being able to buy some books from her. On to the second half from Hannah. She gifted me both of her books. So I had wanted to buy these myself. I was waiting until I was financially more settled, obviously Christmas and everything, and I wanted to buy these and support Hannah. And she kept saying, oh, I'll send you them, and I was like, no, I'll buy them. So she sent me them, Thank you so much. So Fat Lip, which by the way, like, this is a beautiful cover, but this speaks to me. This is fucking gorgeous. So Fat Lip is a collection of short stories all about Hannah's life, and apparently the people who were in it at the time can see themselves quite clearly, which I find pretty funny. And then this one is a story rather than a memoir-like book, which is about a woman who is perpetually a bridesmaid, and she is a fat woman, and so she gets a lot of stigmatism when she's wearing these beautiful dresses, and how she survives going through all of these weddings as bridesmaids, which is a hell of an experience as far as I'm aware. I'm very excited to read these, and obviously this is the second part of the promo for Hannah, is that she's published 2 books. Please do go and check them out. I am so excited to read them. Obviously, I can't say as to how amazing they are just yet, but please do check them out for yourselves. I'm sure I'm gonna love them, and I'm very grateful to have them on my shelves. And then I got myself some books. So Waterstones had a in-store only 50% off all hardbacks sale, and I believe that Barnes & Nobles, which is owned by Waterstones in the US, also had the same thing. Now, usually that wouldn't have made a difference to me because I was kind of annoyed it was in-store only. I understand the point of the sale, but we are in a panini, so it didn't feel appropriate. However, my partner, for Christmas, from my aunt, got a £25 gift voucher to Waterstones, and so we thought the best time to get that utilised would be during this sale. So we went, masked up, social distance, hand sanitised, everything. We are a family that has at-risk individuals in them, so we are very, very careful with COVID. But we did end up going, and we were able to thankfully distance reasonably well, and everyone in the store was wearing masks, which was really good to see. It is technically the law in the UK, but that doesn't mean that English people are going to do it. So we were very grateful to see that, and of course, yes, we were there for him to buy books, but as if I didn't pick up books myself. Don't be stupid. I got 3! The very first book that I knew I wanted to get if I could find it was A Psalm of Storms and Silence. I was 6 pages away from the end of A Song of Wraith and Ruin when Monsieur decided he wanted to go out. 6 pages. 6. So I bought this before I finished the first one, because I knew I wanted it. I really, really enjoyed the first one. It is a West African inspired fantasy. It's a duology, and we follow 2 points of view, one from a boy who is from an outcast section of society, and one from a young girl who is the princess of this world, and the hardships that they go through during this kind of, every 50 years I believe, this passage, and a comet passes through, like, past the planet, and they make it like a big ritual, and obviously things don't go quite to plan. Don't know too much about how the second one is going to evolve, but I had to grab it, and also I have it in hardback for the first one, so I needed it. And then I got 2 non-fiction books. So the one that I have wanted for a while but I wouldn't have picked up unless it was in something like this is Living Planet: The Web of Life on Earth by David Attenborough. His Life trilogy is being re-released. They were originally published in the 80s, I believe, and so I'm wanting to grab all of those. My undergrad was in geography, so this is also my vibe. This is just about the natural world. I don't know how much Americans know about David Attenborough, but he is about a year older than the Queen Elizabeth, and is still rocking about doing these amazing documentaries with the BBC, Life on Earth, Forbidden Planet. I really, really recommend at least watching one of his documentaries if you haven't before. They are absolutely beautiful, stunningly produced, and very respectful of the environment. He's a very knowledgeable man, and I'm really excited to actually be able to read this. And then the very last book of this monster haul, also a non-fiction, but a very different section of non-fiction, and this is How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. When I saw this on the shelves, I just knew I had to have it. Like, what reason would I have for not getting this? Give me a good reason. It's been on my TBR for so long now, and I'm really excited to read it and to learn more. I'm always looking to learn more, so I'm so excited to have this one, and hopefully I can read it in January. And those are all of the books that I got in December. It's like 25-ish. It's a ridiculous amount. I know that they probably aren't watching, but if anyone in my family is watching, thank you. And to my wonderful bookish friends who will be watching, because you guys are always there for me, thank you so much. I got to have the joy of sitting down on Christmas morning and ripping these all open while playing Christmas music. And it was great. It was a fantastic start to my Christmas, so thank you so much. Let me know down in the comments below, folks, if you got any new books in December as gifts, so whether that is for Christmas, for Kwanzaa, for Hanukkah, or anything else where you would get a present, maybe your birthday's in December, then let me know what you did get down in the comments below. If you'd like to see some more from me, please do hit subscribe. I'm going to be having videos coming out about my reading year in 2021, my goals for 2022, and obviously my standard videos for 2022 coming up in the next however long. And if you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!